Start over again. Yeah, it stops like every 10 minutes or something. Not because the battery's dying, just because it doesn't allow it. I don't know. See, this is the rich people. They have a horsey. Look at the big horsey. That's where rich people hide. They have like, yeah, see the horse? Wow, shit. They got a guard with a gun. Most of the time they're cool, but occasionally you'll get Rambo that wants to be the law. He didn't get to be a cop like me in a secret society of super demons. So I got a ticket. Oh, I got to tell this story for TikTok because I told my nieces. Only my nieces will know this story, that it's coming from me. So I'm not going to give you my name. But if you go to Kekak, nobody's going to go there. Who cares? But I got to mention it as many times as I can. K-E-C-C-A-K. Kekak. Pepe the Frog. The Pharaoh. The last Pharaoh of Egypt. Alright, I just wanted to put that in there. So I hated this lady. It's not because I live with Filipinos. I date Filipinos. I love Asians. I don't even think I've ever met. I have dated white girls, but they were when I was in high school. Other than that, it's all Asians. Because I love Asians. And they like me a little bit. Not a lot, but I love them. So, there was this old Filipino lady that kept telling stories about how she was rich and she had Mercedes and all these fancy things, but she was renting for almost nothing in a Filipino household. And I've been living there for 3 years. I was dating one of the daughter for a couple of years. I lived in another house of hers. But this lady, I couldn't stand her because you could see her creating some kind of con. She'd like pull out her groceries and you wanted to help her because she was older, but she's evil, trust me. You're never gonna know, but trust me. You'll save yourself some time not having to investigate it because I even forgot her name. I tried to forget her completely because she was annoying. I helped all the older ladies there except for that one. And I think she knew it, and she didn't like me. And she was about to move out. She kept promising to move out, but then she wouldn't quite go. And I like to run in the middle of the night. That's why I told this story about, you know, somebody pulling a gun on me in a not as good neighborhood, but it's close to Summerlin. I'd never had a problem in Summerlin, ever. I go down like 4 blocks, all of a sudden somebody's pulling in front of me, cocking a gun, saying something to me, and I couldn't hear them, and blah blah blah. It's a long story. So this is for TikTok. TikTok. I never go to TikTok. I refuse, but now I guess I have to because it's getting popular. It looks pretty fun. It's pretty entertaining. So here's my story. So she's taking her groceries out like she always does, and people would come and help her, but she would try to look pathetic. And she did a good job about it, but she was evil. You could tell she was like, she had hateful thoughts. She was always talking mess about everybody. So it didn't matter. She'll be nice to your face, and then you can hear her in the next room as she's talking shit about you. And she acts like she likes you, but she doesn't like anybody. She likes to tell how bad her life is, but you know, it's a long story. It's hard to explain. So I start running and I start to play music and I see her outside and it's her last day. And she pulls out her groceries out of the back of her car. And like always, I ignore it or I just wave to her and say, "See you later." And she asked me, "Are you going to run in the middle of the night?" And I said, "Yeah." "Why? What's the big deal?" And she started waddling into the house, and then I started jogging away. I was probably about 2 blocks away, and I heard in my head, this was for sure, only my niece will recognize it because she started spitting. She thought it was hilarious, and that's who told me about TikTok. I had no idea what TikTok was. And she wanted me to tell her the story, so I told her the story the first time, and I said, all of a sudden in my head I heard, "You're gonna die." And it was real evil and demonic. And I don't know why I heard it in my head. It was so weird. It's not like I heard it outside, but it was like implanted into my brain. I thought, that's odd. I'm going to call my buddy Louie, because Louie, that would be funny. What the hell? I just heard that word. You're going to die. It's like story time about witches in Las Vegas, because I actually believe there are witches. I know it's hard to believe. They look imaginary and all that other stuff. But there's actually witches, whether you want to believe it or not. But there's no such thing as witches. Well, let me tell you, I've lived a while, and I wouldn't have believed in witches, maybe as a kid. And then as a young adult, I was all, yeah, maybe, but you never meet one. Well, I met one, and she was Filipino. And I always help people, but she made me feel bad. Like, I felt guilty because Oprah in the 80s used to tell us, oh, yeah, you know, if you're white, you're evil, you know, or 90s, you're white. You know, you're the oppressor. So the only person I wouldn't help was this lady. And then I heard, you're gonna die. And so I start running, and I think that's funny because I just shrug it off. I mean, I don't know where I heard that. It just came out of nowhere. So I go about 2 blocks, and all of a sudden I see a guy in a hood. And he's walking like a gangster. You know, he's a slangster. Gang, gang. You know, he's listening to some hardcore, you know, gangster music, he wants the persona of an evil gangster that likes to sell drugs. Well, he accomplished it. So I went to the other side of the sidewalk, and I just kept jogging because I was all, you know what? He'd have to come after me. And he goes, hey, come here. No, that's not. Oh, wait. First, he didn't see me. And I went around a car on the other side of the sidewalk, and all of a sudden I see a flash out of the left side of my eye, and it draws my attention because he's in his gray hoodie, and he ran past me, but he was going to come up behind me, and he stops because I look back and I see him behind the car in the middle of the street. Keep in mind, it's like 12 o'clock at night, and I just heard, you're gonna die. That old lady, that old bitch, she was moving out. Fucking witch, bitch, whatever. And so then, all of a sudden, he turns around and he sees me look at him, and he looks at me, and I look at him, and I see this recognition that he realizes that I knew what he was going to do. He's trying to get behind me so he could go and fuck with me. I don't know what his intentions were. And he's all like, hey, come here. And I'm all like, well, that would be smart to go run up to the bad man in the dark. So, yeah, what do you want, sir? He's all, hey, come here. Of course, I ignore it. I just turn up the radio louder. Or I try to ignore it, like I don't hear him. And then he starts chasing me down a major road. And I'm all like, okay, keep the pace, like you don't realize he's chasing you. And he's not in the best shape, but he's probably hopped up on drugs. And I'm all, at least I thought, hey, let me get into the major street. It's on Pecos. So Pecos, I come out of Pecos and I run across the street like I'm jogging. But I'm really thinking in my head, all right, I'm going to get to a parking lot and I'm going to have to fight this guy because what are my alternatives? I'm just trying to jog here. And I just heard, you're gonna die. And I was all like, that is so odd. I had to tell my friend Louie that. So then I'm running across the street. He starts to run after me, but he's running on the other side of the sidewalk. He's like Rambo with a fucking mission because he wants to talk to the guy because I wouldn't come up to him in the dark. Hey, you, come here. How dare you ruin my plan for me to get behind you? Then he's running, trying to catch up with me, and we're in a lighted area, and I turn around and I say, okay, here it comes. At least you're going to do it in the light. It's time to fucking get angry like a mad little girl and scratch some motherfucker's eyes out. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't have said that. But, so, back to my story is he's running, and he just realizes that he's running out in a major street, chasing somebody down the street for no apparent reason. He doesn't even know why he's chasing me. But he's willing to fight me. But then he realizes, oh, fuck. I'm in a major area of commerce here. Admiralty, as we like to call it. The cops call it. We love it. It's the thin green line, the thin dinero, the dollar bill between you and justice. I think they call it the blue line, but I think that's a load of shit. We should change it to green. So, you're gonna die! And then he looks around and he's all, fuck, what am I doing? I'm chasing somebody down a major street for what reason? And then he turns around, flaps his hands around, and walks away. Who's dumber? Would I be dumber going up to him and saying, hey, bad man in the hoodie that's walking like a gangster, what do you want? Or him chasing me and realizing he's so stupid he's chasing somebody, he thinks he's like that Die Hard or some shit, no cop's gonna see me fighting him in the parking lot. And this is what our youth is like, 20-somethings. Hopped up on speed, meth. You pick the drug. Probably a little bit of marijuana. Sweet, sweet marijuana. Alright, that's my story. And I didn't die. Hopefully I don't anytime soon. You're gonna die!